Hey everyone, it's great to be here with you today. As someone who's spent years researching personal growth and development, I've seen firsthand how powerful our minds are. And I want to talk about something really important, what you're thinking right now. Think about it. Your thoughts are literally creating your reality. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between people who can't see possibilities and those who find opportunities everywhere? It's not just luck. It's all about your thinking habits. What your brain looks for fundamentally changes your life. You see, there are people who always feel limited, trapped by constraints, and overwhelmed by problems. Then there are those who find opportunities in every situation, break through their limits, and achieve incredible success. What's the difference? It's having the thinking habit of finding possibilities. Welcome to Reset Mindset, the place where future billionaires gather. Today, I'm going to share 10 rules for finding possibilities, practiced by truly successful people. If you adopt these thinking habits, your brain will automatically start looking for possibilities, and your reality will dramatically begin to change. Why? Because when your thinking changes, your actions change. And when your actions change, your results change. If you want to succeed and live the life you desire, you need to thoroughly practice the thinking habits we're going to talk about today and start transforming from the inside out. Let's dive in. Rule 1. Always expect the best. Have you ever found yourself saying, "This probably won't work," before you even start something? A lot of people do that. But successful people always start by expecting the best. Your brain is a precise machine that finds what you look for. If you ask yourself, "Why do I always fail?" your brain will absolutely find reasons for failure. If you ask, "Why will this work?" your brain will always find reasons for success. This isn't just a psychological trick. Brain science research shows that your expectations change the activation patterns in your neural networks, determining what you pay attention to. Always expecting the best means being confident from the start that this will work no matter the situation. This isn't blind optimism, it's a strategic way of thinking. Because when you expect the best, your brain automatically starts looking for paths that lead to that best outcome. People who expect the best see difficulties as temporary obstacles to overcome and failures as necessary steps towards success. As a result, their actions become proactive and creative, actually increasing their chances of success. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but reality is tough. That kind of sweet thinking won't work. And it's true, reality can be harsh sometimes. But think about it. Haven't there been times in your life when something you thought was impossible actually turned out to be possible? Haven't you realized that what you thought were your limits were just assumptions? Seeing reality isn't just about seeing the obstacles in front of you. True reality means also seeing the countless possibilities to overcome those obstacles. Pessimistic people get anxious, wondering, "What if this fails?" But people who expect the best get excited, thinking, "How amazing would it be if this works?" They don't ignore the possibility of failure. They just decide that the value of success outweighs the risk. And most importantly, they understand that their expectation itself, that this will work, becomes a crucial element for success. Why? Because that expectation directly influences their actions, choices, perseverance, and creativity. Look at the example of Andrew Liu, a pioneer in blockchain technology. When he left a major corporation to start developing blockchain applications, many experts criticized him, saying the technology would only be a tool for financial fraud. But he believed this technology would fundamentally change information transparency and trust. He developed a blockchain platform for managing medical data, and now his system is adopted in multiple countries, contributing to improving patient data security and healthcare access. He expected the best and kept acting toward that expectation. To adopt this habit, starting tomorrow, begin by declaring, "Today will be a great day," as soon as you wake up. When you face a difficulty, ask yourself, how can I overcome this? On the first page of your daily journal, write things that will go well today, and list all the possibilities for success that come to mind throughout the day. This thinking habit of expecting the best will fundamentally change your reality. Rule 2, find opportunity in every situation. Sudden layoffs, a breakup, a financial crisis, a health diagnosis, unexpected things happen in life. Many people see these events as problems, disasters, or bad luck, and they become victims. They lament, "Why is this happening to me?" And they get stuck in the past, unable to move forward. On the other hand, successful people see the same events as turning points, opportunities for growth, or new beginnings. They ask, "What can I learn from this situation? How can I use this?" And they look to the future, acting proactively. This difference in thinking habits leads to an overwhelming difference in life outcomes. Finding opportunity in every situation means asking, what opportunity is this bringing me? For every event, failures, setbacks, and unexpected changes all contain the seeds of new possibilities. Whether you can find them depends on your thinking habits. People who adopt this habit can bounce back from any adversity, and often they use that adversity as a springboard to reach even greater heights. Unfortunately, as humans, we're not designed to immediately think, what opportunity does this problem bring? Our brains have evolved to instinctively detect and be wary of threats. As a result, we naturally tend to focus on the problem side. That's why we need to consciously develop the habit of looking for opportunities. The human brain is trainable, and by continuously repeating the thought of looking for opportunities, that thought pattern will gradually become automatic. I understand the feeling of wanting to argue reality isn't sweet enough for such convenient interpretations. It's true that it's difficult to immediately see negative events positively. Our brains have evolved to react more sensitively to negative information. However, finding opportunities doesn't mean ignoring reality. Instead, it means looking at the deeper aspects of reality, like the possibility of change, the opportunity to learn, or the opening of unexpected doors. It's crucial to cultivate the ability to see the hidden possibilities within reality, even while facing it head-on. Often, life's greatest turning points first appear as problems or misfortunes. Think about how many famous inventions and innovations were born from failures or mistakes. The discovery of penicillin, the development of Post-it notes, and the creation of the chocolate chip cookie all came from mistakes. The problem isn't the problem itself. What matters is how you react to the problem. Consider a woman who lost her business due to a sudden market change. She had been in the same business for 20 years, but a sudden regulatory change made her business unsustainable overnight. While many of her colleagues sank into anger and despair, she kept asking, "What is this teaching me?" She realized that her greatest asset was her relationships with her customers, and she restarted with a completely new business model. Now her new business is 3 times larger than before, and she says, "That regulatory change was the best gift. It made me realize what I truly should be doing." She was able to turn a crisis into a turning point because she had the thinking habit of finding opportunities in every situation. To adopt the habit of finding opportunity in every situation, create an opportunity discovery section in your daily journal. Write down any difficulties or problems you faced that day, and next to them, list 3 potential opportunities that situation might offer. At first, it might feel forced, but with persistence, you'll naturally develop the ability to find opportunities and handle any situation in life proactively. Rule 3. Focus on solutions. When a problem arises, what do you focus on? Many people focus on the problem itself, its causes, or who's to blame. They repeatedly think about, talk about, and invest their emotions in the problem. And strangely enough, their lives become filled with problems. Why? Because what you focus on activates your brain in that direction, and your actions also align with that direction. Focusing on solutions means constantly thinking about, how can I make this work? Instead of, why isn't this working? It's about thinking, what should I do? Instead of, who's at fault? It's about thinking, how do I get out of this situation? Instead of, how did I get into this situation? This thinking habit directs your energy and creativity toward constructive outcomes, opening the path to actual problem solving. When you focus on problems, your brain enters survival mode. Stress hormones are released, your vision narrows, and creative thinking is suppressed. On the other hand, when you focus on solutions, your brain enters growth mode. Dopamine and serotonin are released, your vision broadens, and creative thinking is activated. In other words, the direction of your attention directly affects your brain's chemical reactions and functions, ultimately becoming a crucial factor in whether you worsen or solve a problem. But don't I need to face the problem directly to solve it? That's a valid point. Recognizing the problem is necessary, but recognizing a problem and getting stuck in it are completely different things. Once you recognize the problem, immediately shift your focus to the solution. That's the key to increasing the efficiency and quality of problem solving. Ideally, you should spend 5% of your energy on the problem and 95% on the solution. Great leaders and innovators around the world have mastered this thinking habit. When they face a problem, they don't get flustered. They immediately shift to asking, how can we solve this? They see problems as challenges to be solved and pour their creative energy into finding solutions. And most importantly, they have a fundamental belief that every problem has a solution. This belief supports their perseverance and creativity, ultimately empowering them to find solutions. Consider the example of Sarah Lee, a leader in environmental technology. Her startup is tackling the enormous environmental problem of ocean plastic pollution. While many experts focused on the scale of the problem, the pollution is too widespread, it's already too late, she shifted her focus to solutions, asking, how can we efficiently collect ocean plastic and transform it into valuable materials? As a result, her team developed innovative ocean cleanup technologies and methods for creating high-quality materials from recycled plastic. Now, her technology is being adopted worldwide, and she's being recognized as a model for balancing environmental preservation and economic development. This success is because she kept focusing on solutions, not problems. The habit of focusing on solutions should also appear in your daily conversations. Be mindful of the ratio of time you spend talking about problems versus solutions. In your daily journal, make it a habit to record both the challenges you face today and the potential solutions you thought of. For the next week, consciously monitor your conversations and thoughts, aiming for a ratio where you spend 50 seconds on a solution for every 10 seconds you spend on a problem. If you do this, your brain will automatically start finding creative solutions. Rule 4. Don't create your own limits. You can't do that. You're too old for that. With your background, it's impossible. How do you react when you hear these words from others? Many people take these words to heart and limit their own potential, but true success stories reject all limitations, both external and self-imposed. Your biggest limits are the ones you create yourself. Thoughts like, "This is impossible, I can't do this, or I won't reach that level," restrict your action, and, as a result, narrow your life's possibilities. Not creating your own limits means putting no ceiling on your potential. It's about having the attitude of, "I don't know if I can do it, but I'll try." It's thinking, "I haven't done it yet," instead of, "I couldn't do it before." The human brain has an interesting characteristic called the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you truly believe, "I can't do this," you actually won't be able to. Why? Because your brain adjusts your actions to match that belief. You unconsciously avoid that activity, don't challenge yourself, give up easily, and as a result you fulfill the prophecy of not being able to do it. Conversely, if you believe this is possible, your brain will look for possibilities, think of creative solution, and persistently keep trying. As a result, your chances of success increase. Many people define their limits based on past failures or the opinions of others. They're afraid to step into unknown territory and hesitate to leave their comfort zone. But growth and success lie outside your comfort zone. You can't unlock new possibilities unless you break through your limits. And most importantly, many of the limits you think you have are actually just assumptions. They're not proven facts, they're illusions you've created yourself. But realistically, everyone has limits, right? That's true. There are physical limitations, but physical limitations and self-imposed limitations are completely different. It's important to distinguish between true limits and illusory limits born from fear and anxiety. In most cases, what we call limits are actually just areas we haven't challenged yet, or areas where we haven't put in enough effort. If you look back at human history, things once thought to be impossible have been broken through one after another. Humans can't fly. We can't go to the moon. It's impossible to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Remember that all these common-sense beliefs have been shattered. Many of the things you think are impossible might be just as breakable. Look at the case of Kate Evans, a pioneer in educational technology. She was an elementary school teacher with no tech background, but she felt that children needed more intuitive tools to learn programming. While many educators gave up, thinking they couldn't create educational tools without specialized skills, she rejected the belief, "I can't do it." She taught herself basic programming and began developing a visual programming tool for children. Her app is now used in schools worldwide, helping millions of children learn the basics of coding. If she had set limits for herself, this innovative tool would never have been created. To adopt the thinking habit of not creating your own limits, use the phrase, "not yet." Instead of "I can't do math," say, "I don't understand math well yet." Instead of "I'm bad at public speaking," say, "I haven't practiced public speaking enough yet." This small difference in words has a big impact on your brain. Make it a habit to record the limits you broke today in your daily journal. Write down any small experiences where you did something you thought you couldn't do. Rule 5. Envision your ideal future. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 years from now. Where are you living? What are you doing? What kind of relationships have you built? What achievements have you made? How do you feel as you go through your day in that future? Envisioning your future in this specific way is the first step toward making that future a reality. Envisioning your ideal future isn't just vaguely wishing for things to be better. It's about having a specific and vivid vision and regularly bringing it to mind. It's imagining the person you want to become, the goals you want to achieve, and the reality you want to create, as if they've already come true. This habit isn't just fantasy or daydreaming. From a brain science perspective, having a clear vision is a powerful tool for achieving goals. Research by neuroscientists shows that the brain has difficulty distinguishing between actual experiences and vividly imagined experiences. This means that when you clearly imagine future success, your brain starts to perceive that state as something it has already experienced, or something that can happen. This influences a brain function called the reticular activating system, RAS, which directs your attention toward information and opportunities relevant to that goal. Furthermore, the effectiveness of visualization in improving actual performance has been proven in numerous studies in sports science and cognitive science. Shouldn't I be making a realistic plan instead of fantasizing? I understand that question, and yes, an action plan is necessary. But without a clear vision as a foundation, a plan is meaningless. It's like trying to find an efficient route without knowing your destination. The habit of envisioning your ideal future gives you a clear destination, providing the basis for working backward and deciding what to do now. Many people predict their future based on their current situation or past experiences. They think, this is how it's always been, so this is how it will continue to be. But truly successful people create the present from the future. They have a clear vision and work backward from it to determine their current actions. They view the present from the perspective of their desired future self, bringing consistency and direction to their daily choices and decisions. This is one reason they can move forward without hesitation, even in complex situations. The habit of envisioning your ideal future also gives you a clear sense of purpose. With a sense of purpose, even short-term difficulties and tedious tasks gain meaning within a larger context. When you have a clear reason for doing something, your motivation lasts, and your ability to overcome difficulties strengthens. Your future vision is the compass that gives meaning and direction to your actions. Consider Daniel Ek, the innovator behind music streaming. In a time when the music industry was declining and illegal downloads were rampant, he envisioned a world where all music could be enjoyed legally, anytime, anywhere. While many said music is free to download now, he continued to pursue his clear vision. He faced funding challenges repeatedly, and negotiations with major companies were difficult. But his vision remained unshaken. As a result, his company, Spotify, transformed the structure of the music industry and established a new business model. His clear vision gave him the strength to overcome difficult times and ultimately brought innovation that changed the industry. To incorporate the habit of envisioning your ideal future into your daily life, create a future vision section in your daily journal. Write down your specific visions for 5 and 10 years from now and update them regularly. Additionally, make it a habit to visualize for 5 minutes each morning, closing your eyes and immersing yourself in your ideal future self. By vividly imagining specific places, relationships, emotions, and achievements, your brain will naturally be guided in that direction. Rule 6. Look for doors of possibility. Have you ever heard the saying, if there's no entrance, break through the wall? Many people, when they face a wall, give up, thinking they can't go any further. But truly successful people look for a door somewhere else on the wall, or if there isn't one, they figure out how to create their own. When something seems impossible, it's often just because you haven't found the door of possibility yet. Looking for doors of possibility means having a constantly inquisitive attitude of, is there another way to make this happen? Instead of thinking, this can't be done. This thinking habit is the source of creativity and flexibility, empowering you to find innovative solutions that go beyond conventional wisdom or preconceived notions. Society has limitations disguised as common sense. Many people can only think within these limitations and can't find new possibilities. They're trapped by assumptions like, this is how it should be, or this is normal, and they don't even try to think of different approaches. But truly successful people step outside the box of common sense and find doors of possibility that no one else sees. They constantly ask, why do we do it that way? What other ways are there? And break through traditional ways of thinking. Those with the thinking habit of looking for doors of possibility are free from fixed ideas about how things should be. They constantly ask, how can it be possible, instead of, why is it impossible? They also draw ideas from different fields and cultures, combining seemingly unrelated concepts to create innovative approaches. This interdisciplinary thinking is the key to finding solutions and opportunities that no one else has noticed. Are there really such special possibilities? Most things have already been thought of and tried by someone. I understand this skeptical view. It's true that creating completely new ideas is difficult, but endless possibilities emerge when you apply existing ideas in a new context or combine multiple ideas. Many historical innovations are combinations of existing concepts or technologies in new ways. The smartphone, for example, was born from an innovative combination of existing technologies like phones, computers, and cameras. Doors of possibility aren't necessarily entirely new. They often lie in new combinations or applications. Consider the example of Layla Jenkins, a pioneer in alternative education. She noticed that children with learning disabilities were being left behind in traditional education systems, and she shifted her thinking from children who don't fit the school to schools that don't fit the children. While many educators viewed children who couldn't keep up with the curriculum as problematic, she asked a fundamental question. Why does everyone have to learn in the same way? As a result, she developed a new learning approach centered on art, nature experiences, and practical projects. Her school model is now spreading worldwide, providing a place for children who struggled in traditional education to thrive and learn. This innovation was born because she questioned the norm and kept looking for new doors of possibility. There was once a young entrepreneur who faced a severe lack of business funding. Banks refused loans, and he couldn't find investors. Most people would have given up, thinking they couldn't continue their business without funding. But he kept asking, is there a way to grow even without funding? And he came up with a completely different business model: prepaid memberships. It was a breakthrough idea, collecting fees from customers in advance and using that to expand his business. This innovative approach allowed him to get his business off the ground without external funding, and he's now a recognized name in his industry. This success came about because he wasn't bound by conventional thinking and kept looking for new doors of possibility. To adopt the habit of looking for doors of possibility, try the 100 Methods List thought experiment. When you face a difficult challenge, list 100 ways to solve that problem. The first 10 will be common methods everyone thinks of. The next 40 will be somewhat creative, and the remaining 50 will be bold ideas that might seem crazy. Incorporate this thought experiment into your daily journal and practice it every time you face a difficult situation. Your brain will automatically start looking for diverse solutions. Rule 7. Be aware of your room for growth, talent versus effort. Which do you think determines your life? Many people believe that talent or innate ability dictates success in life. But psychological research shows that just thinking that way greatly limits human potential. A psychologist named Carol Dweck proposed the concept of mindset. Her research shows that people have either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that abilities are predetermined and fear failure. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed through effort and enjoy challenges. This difference in thinking habits leads to huge differences in life outcomes. Being aware of your room for growth means having the attitude of, I'm still learning. It means seeing mistakes not as proof that you lack ability, but as valuable feedback for growth. It's about finding opportunities for learning and growth in any situation and continuously expanding your own potential. People who adopt this habit aren't afraid of difficulties or challenges. Instead, they welcome them as opportunities for growth. As a result, they continue to learn and grow throughout their lives, opening new possibilities regardless of age. I'm too old. I don't have that talent. I'm not that type of person. These are statements from a fixed mindset. Such thinking closes off your potential for growth. People with a growth mindset instead think, I just haven't mastered it yet. I'll get better with practice, or let me try a new approach. This small difference in thinking leads to a big difference in actions and results. But as I get older, my learning ability declines, and my capacity for growth is limited, isn't it? This is a natural question. It's true that some brain functions change with age, but according to the latest brain science research, the brain's ability to learn and change is maintained throughout life. This means that as long as you continue to make conscious efforts, you can continue to grow regardless of age. In fact, many people acquire new skills and succeed in new fields even in their later years. Age is just a number. Your attitude toward growth is what matters. Many people, out of fear of failure or criticism, stop trying new things. They believe, I can't do it, or this is the extent of my ability. And they close off their own potential. But true achievers don't fear failure. Instead, they actively learn from it and continuously grow. They see failure as feedback and use it for their next challenge. This attitude forms the foundation of their lifelong growth and success. There's a man who started learning programming at 65 after retirement. He wanted to solve local environmental problems with technology. Many people told him, "You can't learn programming at that age." But he thought, "I just need to learn how to learn." He steadily built up knowledge and skills, albeit at a slower pace than younger people. 2 years later, he developed an application for monitoring local pollution, and now he's active in multiple environmental projects. This wonderful second life began because he didn't accept the limitations of age and continued to believe in his room for growth. To adopt the habit of being aware of your room for growth, practice intentional discomfort. This is the habit of consciously challenging yourself with one thing you're not good at or that you avoid each week. In your daily journal, create a growth zone section and record the week's challenges and the lessons you gained from them. This comfortable discomfort is a catalyst for forming new neural pathways in your brain and pushing the boundaries of your abilities. Also, embrace the principle of learning by teaching. Create opportunities to teach a skill or knowledge you want to learn to someone else. This will deepen your understanding, help you discover gaps in your knowledge, and accelerate your growth. Rule 8. Ask constructive questions. The questions you ask determine the life you live. Questions focus your awareness and determine the direction of your thoughts. Sharp questions lead to sharp thinking and action. Asking constructive questions isn't just about asking good questions. It's about consciously shifting your thinking from questions that limit you to questions that empower you. Many people unconsciously ask questions that narrow their vision and limit their possibilities. Why do I always fail? Why am I not talented? These questions bind their thinking and restrict their actions. Constructive questions have several important characteristics. First, they are future-oriented. They don't dwell on past problems, but focus on future possibilities. Second, they encourage expansive thinking. They are open-ended questions that broaden your thoughts, not yes, no questions. And third, they prompt action. They don't just lead to analysis or contemplation, they guide you to the next step. But isn't it important to analyze difficult situations and understand their causes? That's true, but the problem is that many people get stuck on questions for analysis and don't transition to questions for action. The real value isn't in understanding the past, but in how you apply that understanding to future actions. Constructive questions balance analysis and action, always prompting progress. Questions exist on different levels. Superficial questions only yield superficial answers. For example, to the question, "How was your day?" the answer might be, "It was okay." On the other hand, deeper questions elicit deeper thinking and insight. Questions like, "What value can I bring to my future self from today's experiences?" lead you to find meaning and possibilities beyond daily events. What level of questions are you asking yourself in your daily life? The most powerful questions are not, "Whose fault is it?" but "What can I do?" The former promotes blame and creates helplessness. The latter boosts self-efficacy and leads to action. Also, by asking, "How can I make this possible?" instead of "Why is this impossible?" your brain shifts into a creative mode. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your thoughts and ultimately the quality of your life. Alfred Lin, an innovator in mindfulness education, gained insights into the quality of question through years of meditation practice. He discovered the power of asking, "What am I choosing to focus on right now?" Instead of, why am I unhappy? This shift in questioning allowed him to control his attention and enhance his well-being. The mindfulness program he developed, which leverages the power of questions, is now adopted by educational institutions and companies worldwide. His research suggests that humans ask themselves an average of 6,000 questions a day, and the quality of these questions directly influences the quality of their lives. To adopt the habit of asking constructive questions, try the question transformation technique. In your daily journal, create a question hierarchy section. First, write down the questions you unconsciously repeat. Then, rewrite each question into a more constructive form. For example, change "Why am I always late?" to "How can I master time management?" or "Why does no one understand me?" to "How can I communicate more effectively?" This simple technique will fundamentally change your thinking patterns and open new doors of possibility. Furthermore, incorporate the habit of asking 3 questions each morning and night, consciously choosing powerful questions to guide your day. Rule 9. Have a higher perspective. Don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. Are you getting bogged down by daily irritations and frustration, losing sight of the larger meaning and direction of your life? Having a higher perspective is the ability to view various events in your life within a larger context. Having a higher perspective is the ability to step back and see things from a broader viewpoint. It's the perspective that considers what meaning current difficulties will have in the long course of your life and what long-term impact your current decisions will have. This thinking habit empowers you to make wiser judgments and choices without being overwhelmed by immediate problems. Are you sacrificing long-term happiness for short-term pleasure? Are you so caught up in immediate problems that you're losing sight of the overall flow of your life? These are typical symptoms of lacking a higher perspective. Many people live dominated by their current emotions and desires. They follow impulses like, "I want it now," or "I need it fixed right now," losing their long-term perspective. As a result, they pursue short-term pleasures or gains, ultimately putting themselves in a disadvantageous position in the long run. By having a higher perspective, you can deal with immediate difficulties calmly without being overwhelmed. If you view today's problems as just one day's event in a 100-year life, the way you see those problems will change dramatically. Also, by considering your current decisions from the perspective of their impact on your future self, you can make wiser choices without being swayed by short-term temptations. A higher perspective brings depth and consistency to your judgments and decisions. But if the current problem is serious, how can I even think about a long-term perspective? I deeply understand that feeling. It's true that when facing serious problems, there's a strong desire for immediate solutions. But it's precisely in those times that a step-back perspective is needed. Serious problems tend to make us more emotional and narrow our focus. In such moments, questions like, "How will this problem look in 5 years?" or "What can I learn from this event?" can help you regain composure and respond more wisely. A higher perspective serves as a compass in the storm of emotions. Those who have a higher perspective understand how the accumulation of small daily decisions shapes their life in the long term. They know that today's small choices lead to big results in the future, and that's why they pay conscious attention to their daily habits and choices. They also consider the balance of various aspects of life and avoid concentrating excessively on one area. This holistic perspective brings true fulfillment and success. Consider the example of Sarah Miller, a pioneer in sustainable architecture. She questioned the architectural industry's pursuit of short-term profits and its emphasis on low costs. She reframed her work from the perspective of how will people 100 years from now evaluate today's architecture? She incorporated sustainable construction methods that were initially more expensive, and many clients opposed her approach, but her long-term perspective remained unshaken. The buildings she constructed excelled in terms of energy efficiency, durability, and livability, ultimately leading to significant cost savings in the long run. Now, her approach is recognized within the industry, and she has a huge influence on the next generation of architectural forms. This innovation was possible because she maintained a higher perspective. To incorporate the habit of having a higher perspective into your daily life, create a long-term perspective section in your daily journal. Write down how you would feel about your current problems or decisions if you looked at them from a 5-year or 10-year perspective, especially when you're feeling emotional. Asking yourself, how important will this be when I look back 10 years from now, can help you put problems into proper context. Rule 10. Keep hope alive. Even in the darkest depths, can you find a sliver of light? Even when everything seems lost, can you believe in the possibility of a new beginning? This is the essence of keeping hope alive. Keeping hope alive isn't just simple optimism. Hope is the power to believe that a better future is possible, even when facing difficulties. Keeping hope alive means continuously believing, no matter the situation, that there's a way out of this, and a better future can be created. This thinking habit gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even in the most difficult circumstances. Hope is one of humanity's most powerful resources. As long as there is hope, people can overcome incredible difficulties. On the other hand, if hope is lost, it becomes impossible to move forward, even if the situation improves. Hope is the source of your actions and energy, increasing your resilience to difficulties, and serving as a driving force for finding creative solutions. Psychological research shows that people who have hope have higher resilience when facing stress and difficulties, and their mental and physical health are better. When the world seems dark, can you believe in light? When everyone says it's impossible, can you still believe it's possible? This is the essence of keeping hope alive. Those who have hope find the seeds of possibility even in the worst situations, and have the power to nurture them. They have the belief that things aren't going well now, but they will eventually, and they continue to act based on that belief. But facing reality, aren't there situations where it's impossible to have hope? This struggle is deeply felt. It's true that reality can be harsh at times, but having hope and facing reality are not contradictory. True hope is recognizing the harshness of reality while still believing that there's a way to move forward. Hope isn't about escaping reality. It's about the power to confront reality. Many people easily lose hope when faced with difficult situations. They conclude, it's over. It won't get any better. I have no choice but to give up. But those who keep hope alive continue to believe there's still a method I haven't tried, or even if I can't see it now, there's definitely a way. They see difficulties not as an end, but as a new beginning, and they find opportunities for growth and change within them. This shift in perspective is the key to overcoming adversity and reaching new heights. Keeping hope alive isn't just about wishing for a good outcome. It's an active process that includes the following elements. First, having clear goals. Second, the ability to find multiple paths to reach those goals. And third, believing in your own ability to walk those paths. When these three elements combine, true hope is born, which generates action, not just desire. As a concrete action, to adopt the habit of keeping hope alive, create a Evidence of Hope section in your daily journal. Each day, acknowledge 3 small events that serve as evidence of hope. It could be someone's kind action, a small improvement in a problem, or unexpected good news, anything, no matter how small. This habit will train your brain to look for evidence of hope, and gradually, the flame of hope will grow. In difficult times, keeping hope alive is the key to opening all doors of possibility. Today, I've shared the 10 rules for finding possibilities that truly successful people practice. Always expect the best. Your brain finds what you look for. If you expect the best, your brain automatically starts looking for paths to lead you in that direction. Find opportunity in every situation. By asking, what opportunity is this bringing me? For every event, you can discover new possibilities. Focus on solutions. By focusing on solutions instead of problems, your brain activates to find creative answers. Don't create your own limits. Your biggest limits are the ones you create yourself. The attitude of, I don't know if I can do it, but I'll try, is crucial. Envision your ideal future. By having a specific and vivid vision and regularly bringing it to mind, you unconsciously start moving in that direction. Look for doors of possibility. Instead of thinking, this can't be done, continuously ask, is there another way to make this happen? Be aware of your room for growth. Have the attitude of, I'm still learning, and see mistakes as valuable feedback for growth. Ask constructive questions. Consciously choose questions that guide your brain in a better direction, increasing your creativity and ability to act. Have a higher perspective. By looking at things from a long-term perspective, you can make wiser judgments without being overwhelmed by immediate difficulties. Keep hope alive, continuously believing that a better future can be created, no matter the situation, gives you the strength to overcome any difficulty. These rules aren't just about a way of thinking. They are powerful thinking habits that actually change your brain and body, directly influencing your actions and results. As brain science research shows, with repeated practice, these thinking patterns become ingrained as neural circuits, gradually becoming automatic responses. That's why daily conscious practice is so important. The most important action you can take starting today is the conscious choice of your thoughts. Remember, you can choose your thoughts. When a negative thought arises, immediately recognize it and make it a habit to replace it with a more constructive thought. Take time each morning when you wake up and each night before bed to ask yourself, what's possible today? And what can I be grateful for today? When you change, the world changes. Your presence alone has immeasurable influence. That's why you need to thoroughly practice the rules you've learned today and bring about change from within yourself. Bonus part. For those of you who've stayed with me until the very end, here's a special bonus. For serious self-growth like yours is what truly changes the world. As a bonus practice, I suggest a habit of 3 questions. Whether it's in your smartphone notes or a dedicated notebook, Take just 3 minutes every night before bed to answer the following 3 questions. 1. What thinking patterns was I repeating today? 2. Did those thoughts empower me or disempower me? 3. What thoughts will I consciously choose tomorrow? This simple habit will make you aware of your thoughts and gradually change them. When the quality of your thoughts changes, the quality of your life changes. Keep doing this until your consciously chosen thoughts become unconscious habits. Finally, let me tell you this. You are stronger than you think, and you are filled with more possibilities than you realize. Your thoughts create your reality. So always choose the best thoughts and imagine the best reality. Endless possibilities await, all depending on your choices. Thanks for sticking with me this time. I'll see you in the next video.